when Bugs Bunny was a conductor, so that's how it relates to me.
By
No, I was not. I was not inspired by Bugs Bunny, but so it's really experiencing the emotion of the opera through the music.
Hi everyone, I'm Gena from Singapore Lyric Opera and welcome back to another episode of Opera is All Around You. Today we have Conductor Darrell Ang on the topic of Unfold Your Mind. Darrell, can you share with us more about yourself?
Sure. Nice to meet you again, Gena. Well, I'm a conductor and I normally conduct symphonic orchestras, but I've been very active also in the field of opera. And I have been a regular guest conductor at, for example, the Mariinsky Theatre in St. Petersburg. I have conducted my fair share of standard repertoire, as well as not very standard repertoire. So I would say that my journey with opera started when I was a student in the St. Petersburg Conservatory, because as conducting students, you all have to complete a course in opera, which I must say was very fortunate for me, because I know that there are many conducting programs in the world that do not offer such an opportunity. So thank my lucky stars. During my third year in the conservatory, I already began studying opera seriously. That's not to say that I didn't know opera before. I didn't know so much, but I did like opera. I attended a few performances when I was a student in Vienna, and this was even long before I went to St. Petersburg. I enjoyed a few of the standards and a few of the not so standards, like Richard Strauss's Ariadne of Naxos. So at the conservatory from year 3, I was made to undertake a course of opera and ballet, so it was different teachers but within the same department. And for opera, we of course had to study the very central core repertoire, which is the main operas by Verdi, by Rigoletto, by Verdi, by Puccini, by of course Bizet, Mozart, and so on and so forth. And then we had to study as well the central Russian operatic repertory, which is not something that you get to learn if you are not in Russia. And that really opened my mind because, of course, prior to that, I had no experience with the Russian opera except for the one or two that I saw as an audience member at the Mariinsky Theatre. And I got to know a lot of Russian opera which I had never heard of, and that really broadened my horizon and made me fall in love even more deeply with opera, because the Russians have a very particular take on the operatic art form. They always base their work, so whether it's a symphony, whether it's a concerto, whether it's opera, on Russian tradition and folk song.
Okay.
And so that really introduced me another aspect of opera, which is something that I didn't consider before.
So like, okay, what is your favorite opera?
My favorite opera? Okay, that's a very good question. I think if you ask me on a different day, you will get a different answer.
Really?
Maybe, maybe. Well, okay, I'll just put my cards on the table and I say that I love operas by Mozart. I love the main operas. In fact, I love everything by Mozart, not just his operas. But I find that in Mozart, we have a very perfect composer, not just of music, but also of drama, of comedy, I mean, you look at any Mozart opera, you have all the elements of an opera. You have buffa, you have commedia, you have tragica, you have everything, lyrica, you have everything that makes a good opera. So I mean, it's not like, okay, Verdi and Puccini, that's a different kind of I would say genre. It's opera, but it's you deal with a lot of tragedy, you deal with a lot of love and sadness and passion and you name it, murders. But in Mozart, you can more or less be guaranteed that you're going to have a great time, right? And you will leave the theater not too grief-stricken. You would have learned something. You would have had a lot of fun. I'm not saying that with a Verdi or Puccini or I don't know or Leoncavallo you won't have fun. It's just a very, very different experience. And then let's just also say that for Mozart, I find that his music is always, I mean, there is not a single bar within any piece by Mozart in which you can say that note is out of place, that I don't know, that articulation is not right. Everything is perfect. So you have in Mozart a composer of just sublime perfection. My favorite Mozart opera would probably be, well, it's a toss. It's a toss between Notte di Figaro and Così fan tutte. I love the Magic Flute. But it's not an opera that you can put up anytime, all right? But I think for Notte di Figaro and Così fan tutte, there's just so much craziness in the music, in the plot, that if you actually just go in without any expectations, you will come out a new man or woman. I remember having also conducted, like as I just mentioned, the Magic Flute on several occasions, and tears were streaming out of my eyes, simply due to the beauty of the music, of the music. There is so much magic, I think, in certain moments of Magic Flute that just transcends everything that, as a musician, I have ever experienced.
That's really, I mean, usually when I ask people like what is their favorite opera or composer, they will usually have like Verdi or like Puccini. So it's like it's interesting that it's a very interesting and fresh perspective, I feel. Yeah. So like for example, okay, because right in this series we want to introduce to our audience more like how opera is part of our lifestyle and can be part of our lifestyle. So lately there's a like this kind of musical craze, and then like people start to go for musical. So what do you think, like,
I think not just
opera?
lately.
What? but I do know like more people are attending it as compared to in the past.
Okay.
So like, how do you feel? I mean, it's in Singaporean based lah. So
Okay.
what do you mean?
Well, I'm not based in Singapore so much, so I really don't know what the audience goes for. I mean, like if you're talking about Mad Chinaman and Fried Rice Paradise, I think those are fantastic works of art, and I myself would actually go and watch. I love Dick's music. I've been a big fan of his since I was a kid. I don't know what other musicals come here, like Chicago. Has it been here? It probably has.
Yeah, I think so.
Like Phantom of the Opera has been here several times.
Yeah.
Cats. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you see, those have a different kind of universal appeal that even if you bring it to Timbuktu, people would go, right? And the appeal of those musicals, I think, does not just lie in the fact that the music is great. It just lies in the fact that there's a lot of advertisement behind those musicals. They've been around for a long time, so people go on hearsay. I think for a person who is familiar with musicals, that person will find maybe a little bit of difficulty with getting attuned to experiencing an opera, but that difficulty is very easy to overcome, and once he or she overcomes that, then I think the enjoyment factor of operas is the same as musicals. Okay, so if you look at how it all came about, then the history of musicals is like this. Some people would actually say that Gilbert and Sullivan were musicals, right? I actually don't think so, because at that time those were operas. Those were what they were. They were like operettas. I mean, it's like Offenbach in English. Basically that's what it is. But the current musicals that you hear, and even Andrew Lloyd Webber's musicals, for example, they come from that lineage. Okay, so you have Gilbert and Sullivan, and then you have Jerome Kern, you have Oscar and Hammerstein, so on and so forth. You have the Misfits that are like Bernstein's West Side Story, but that's like mix of a whole bunch of stuff. And then you have this huge chunk of musicals by Andrew Lloyd Webber, which became really the staple of musicals today. And nowadays it's I would say it's evolved into very, very different things. It's evolved into very, very different styles, also genres, and I mean musicals can be more, I would say, drama and very little singing. I've seen those musicals too. So if you look at how the trajectory of musicals actually evolved, then you see that it all came from the same root, which is opera. So it's if I were a listener, if I were an appreciator of musicals, then, and if I really was interested, I would actually investigate and go back into time and see where those inspirations came from. I was just having a conversation the other day with a very young opera singer, and I was telling him, and he didn't know that Andrew Lloyd Webber has, for example, many songs that harmonically are copy and paste from Puccini's arias. Okay, and he himself would admit, maybe not openly, but there was like a case in the 70s or 80s in which a London reviewer actually did take Andrew Lloyd Webber to task in the news and said, "Hey, your music is the exact replica of Puccini." So if you look at O Mio Babino Caro, for example, and you listen to Don't Cry For Me, Argentina, you will see that those songs are based exactly on the same harmonies, same harmonic evolution. It's more or less copy and paste. The rhythms are different. Maybe how the songs end are different, but it's actually just one picture. It's one cell. And why not? I mean, as artists, it's not plagiarism, but we do take from influences, right? Stravinsky took from Tchaikovsky, and many other composers. Brahms took from Beethoven. I mean, we all do that. right? So it's definitely not right to say that Andrew Lloyd Webber copied wholesale Puccini. He did not. He was inspired by Puccini. So having said that, I would say that if you actually really do enjoy musicals, if you do enjoy Phantom of the Opera, if you do enjoy Cats, if you do enjoy Chicago or Sweeney Todd, you will definitely love Rossini. You will definitely love Mozart, Verdi, Puccini, and so on and so forth.
Okay, so like, do you have any examples of like opera tunes used in like advertisements or films or like cartoons even? So.
Yeah, you know, when I was a kid, I believe the first time I heard opera, but I didn't know it was opera, was in advertisements on television. Oh yes, the most famous one is you probably weren't even born yet. Cornetto.
Okay.
You know this ice cream? Cornetto is a Wall's ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay. So the ad is like this. This guy in a gondola with his lover, girlfriend, whatever, and the boatman. Okay, 3 of them, and he's trying to woo the girl. So I think she's rejecting his advances, but he realizes, oh wait a minute, I have my secret weapon, which is the ice cream cone.
Okay.
And he starts to sing O Sole Mio, but with the words, of course, transformed into just one cornetto, give it to me. You know, it's like that was my first experience of opera, right on television, and I'm thinking, oh wow, okay. But you know, having said that, that song O Sole Mio is not from an opera. Okay, it's an Italian folk song, but it's been so often used by operatic singers. You name it, the 3 tenors, anybody, 4 tenors, 5 tenors, 6 sopranos, they all sing that aria, that song, and it's become associated with opera. You know, as I was a kid, I watched a lot of cartoons. I loved Bugs Bunny. Who didn't? Looney Tunes. I still love Looney Tunes. I mean, I would say that I think until today, as an adult, watching the Looney Tunes still makes me laugh. I mean, I love Looney Tunes. The kind of gags that they come up with, just incredible. Bugs Bunny, I think on several occasions, sang a lot of opera. One that I particularly remember very, very fondly is when Bugs Bunny was a conductor. So that's how it relates to me.
Were you inspired by?
No, I was not. I was not inspired by Bugs Bunny, but he became, in that cartoon sequence, he was Leopold Stokowski, and so his mannerisms were really funny. You know, it's like have you watched Fantasia? So you know, if you have, you will know. So he walked, talked, behaved, gestured like Stokowski. And it just so happened that there was a very unlucky tenor on stage. And anyway, long story short, Bugs Bunny, right at the end of this cartoon, is holding the tenor's long note incredibly long. So you see the tenor's face go green, purple, blue, red, black. It's a really, really funny cartoon. I love that cartoon. So that's opera in cartoons, and also I do remember very, very well that Bugs Bunny several times also had, I think, had Wagner tunes, scenes of Wagner operas in his cartoons. There was one with snippets of The Ring, of Tannhäuser, I believe, and something else. I don't Lohengrin. So you know, I wouldn't say that Bugs Bunny cartoons are actually for kids only. I would say they're also for adults, because kids don't know opera.
Wow, interesting how they like slot these little opera tunes and things into like cartoons, so that we grew up watching this, but we don't realize that it's there. You know.
Well, I certainly didn't until you know, I mean, much later. I would say even like several years ago, when I started revisiting Looney Tunes, I thought, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But when I was 6, 7, I didn't know this.
Yeah. What are like some advice for our audience out there, you know, for them to unfold their mind and like accept opera or like something part of their daily lifestyle?
I think it's simple. I would say from the benefit of my own experience that if you already have a fondness for musicals, then you have a head start. Okay, that is your starting point. I love musicals. You know, until now, I really love musicals. Before COVID, I was in Europe with my parents. I brought my parents on a holiday of Europe, and lo and behold, I took them to Phantom of the Opera. I've seen it like a million times. They've probably also seen it maybe twice. But you know, when you revisit a musical, the feeling is always different because the tunes are so familiar. And then now, man, I've conducted so much of opera. I've conducted, you know, so many orchestras and symphonic pieces. I have a different view of what I'm hearing. So it was very educational for me. It was very eye-opening for me too, to notice and to study and to observe the differences between, say, an Andrew Lloyd Webber opera musical and a Puccini opera. You know, so for me that was interesting. So I would say that if you were planning to investigate more about opera, it's easiest to start off with, of course, opera arias. The famous ones are famous for a reason because they are well loved. They stand the test of time. So it's really experiencing the emotion of the opera through the music that is necessary, because that's what opera is. It's a vehicle for the music to express emotion and drama that you normally wouldn't get in the text or on stage.
Thank you very much for sharing with us so much today, Darrell.
Thank you, Gena.
So for our viewers out there, if you have any questions for Darrell, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And once again, thank you for joining us in the past couple of weeks for all this running series and episodes. So next week, we will be having a new series, so stay tuned. See you. Hi everyone. Today, we are very fortunate to have Beatrice from our Youth Chorus together with Mummy Laura here. Really nice to meet both of you here today. Alright, Beatrice, can you share with us, right, how long have you been with our chorus?
I've actually been in the chorus for about 5 plus 6 years. Yeah, coming to 6 years soon.
Okay. So, sorry, I forgot to ask. How old are you this year, actually?
I'm 14 this year.
Oh, so you joined in
I was primary 3.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, did you choose chorus, or chorus choose you, or Mummy choose it for you?
Actually, I chose because I wanted to sing, and I really love singing. It started from when I was younger, right? I actually started with piano when I was 4, and then because I heard next door there was a person singing, and then I was like, wow, this sounds really beautiful, and I want to learn it. So like in P3, Mummy found SLO and I joined.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's all thanks to your neighbor's influence?
Yes. Yes, sort of, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So being through with this chorus for 5 or 6 years, that's a lot of years. And then what's the best part about being in the chorus?
Best part. I think the main thing that I look forward to every year is the opera, because it's a very big production, and it really opens my eyes and I can gain a lot of exposure. I see many great artists, awesome singers, musicians, directors, conductors, and I think it's really taught me a lot. It takes a lot of people to make an opera a success. Yeah.
It's like, I've been talking to the kids and some of the chorus and everything. Everybody emphasized how important it is, and how an opera is made out of a lot of effort by different people and different parties. So it's glad. I'm glad that you see that as well.
Yes.
So maybe you can share with us what is the most memorable moment in one of the opera production? Which opera production?
Memorable. They're all memorable, but I think the most recent one, Bizet's Carmen. Yeah. I sang a lot with the adult chorus and then the orchestra, and it was really fun to work with such a big group of people. And yeah, I really love that experience, and the power of all our voices in the orchestra in the hall. It's very powerful.
So that really had a hit a mark in
major impact.
So there are so many elements in an opera, or like being part of an opera production, that you need to take care of. So, okay, first of all, we need to memorize our music, right? We need to really know it well. We need to remember our blockings. We also need to, like, you know, I think you guys were doing some little dance or choreography stuff, right? Yeah, those were really cute in the carmen.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, how do you cope with like memorizing all these things, you know, despite being so young and doing all this?
Actually, I think it's just the rehearsals. There are many rehearsals, super hardcore. And then like basically you just go there for a few hours and then you just like try to remember everything. And then in our own rehearsals with the group, with the chorus, we will also practice whenever we can so that it's all here.
Good advice. I think these are like really moments that reminds us like why we do what we do, and like so Mommy, does she always sing at home like the same pieces over and over again?
Yes, a lot during rehearsal time. I think it is the passion that actually drives our mom. Drives the mood into the memorizing the song and everything.
So like, you know, over all these years, what kind of like development do you notice from Beatrice in her commitment to the SLO?
I would have to say confidence. She has grown to be more confident, more sure of herself in terms of singing, in terms of her music, because she's pursuing music as well. And then it actually helps her in her school as well, because she's involved in some leadership program. So it actually helps her in carrying herself on stage among her friends.
I think that's really positive, because like, you know, I think some parents are really afraid to send their kids for extra things because like don't want to stress them out too much with the academic things to handle in school, right?
Right.
So it's really nice to hear that you know, actually helped her with like coping with all these things.
The rigorous rehearsal does actually give the kids that ability to actually be more disciplined. Management in time. You cannot wait for everything last minute. So you need to pace, you need to know what is called time management.
And you need to practice.
Yes.
To like to fit in time to practice, right? So like I know it's, you know, over these years your parents put in a lot of effort to like send you here, pay for the fees and things like that. So like how do you like, and I say it's like end of the day, how do you feel about like doing all these things for Beatrice, this compliment? You know?
I think it is a passion that actually make us, you know, follow her and then to drive her everywhere. It is more of a time constraint, the time that is needed to allocate for her, so that we need to ferry her every now and then during rehearsal time it's like that many hours, 3-4 hours, dependence.
So I remember like one incident where we saw your dad like really taking photos of you doing the performances and everything, and always there, like I always say that your parents are always there, really supportive during performances, rehearsals, and like your mom say, like 3-4 hours. I think sometimes they just wait around and then just wait for you to finish the class and then pick you up. So do you have any special message for your parents over there?
Yes. Mommy and also Daddy, who is not here, thank you so much for encouraging me and supporting me.
Love you.
Thank you. It was like, I think we are really fortunate to have like very supportive parents. So like, if not, all this wouldn't have been possible. You know, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
So how would you like encourage those out there to give this a shot, like to send their kids for this kind of enrichment, I would say?
Okay, if the kids has the passion in them, and then you have to discover. She does have her passion, and she did actually express her want to actually take up the lesson. So you should actually drive that passion in her, and giving her that environment and support, they will actually bloom. With the company. That's why we can actually stay on for this long.
Thank you, Mom. There's some like really good stuff there. It's like, I feel that it's so important to have this understanding, and then like in the current society, everybody's so tense up and so intense about like getting academic and everything. We really forgot how to take a step back, let our kids enjoy a bit, and then, you know, just as a form of relief or like singing, you know. So thank you very much for that again. To our viewers out there, if you have any questions, or want to find out more about our youth chorus, feel free to drop us a comment or reach out to us from a link below. Thank you and goodbye.
For maybe 10-15 seconds until you move to stage front. So it was very, very, how should I put it, exciting. There are no hard and fast rules. There are no steps, like you stick step 1, step 2, step 3, how do we understand opera? But great art communicates, and all these operas and arias are fantastic work of art. So even if you don't know the language, the music speaks to you emotionally as a person.